But getting back to the quarterback battle, it was the thing that was talked about in the group chat. When do you think we will find out who the starter is, and when do you think it'll be announced?
It's the first game, August 30th.
Yep, August 31st.
I bet you we find out by the weekend of August 15th. I think we have 2 weeks of where we know the quarterback's going to be somebody. I feel like it'll be CJ Carr. I feel like we'll have 2 weeks where it's guaranteed who the quarterback's going to be.
You don't think that it could turn into a situation where, for me, it's like looking at it strategically. I think the staff would know and kind of tell the players who the starter is going to be, maybe around August 15th. But I don't think it's publicly announced until the week of the game.
No, I'm talking about we will find out August 15th.
Like,
I
this, like
think I think they've already decided who the quarterback's going to be.
you think they've already decided right now?
Yeah, I think by looking at what we've done, it's very odd to. I think they've already decided it's going to be Carr. I think Minchey knows that he's going to have an opportunity to take Carr's spot in fall ball, but I think it's pretty understandable that Carr is going to be the starting quarterback, and I think they've kind of represented that, and they're kind of telling Minchey like, "Hey, just because he's a starting quarterback right now doesn't mean he's going to be a starting quarterback week one. But we plan to start him week one. If you change our mind, our plan will change. If you're able to show us that you are better than him, we will change our mind and our plan will change." So I could definitely see that coming up as well.
So you think they'll publicly announce it? So you don't think that Freeman would kind of look at it as a strategic advantage, because they don't have to announce anything publicly about who the starter is until right before kickoff, right?
Like he
So
could do that. He could. He wouldn't be it would just be odd. I understand like strategic. They're gonna be able to tell when you watch them practice. They're gonna be able to tell. When CJ Carr is out there taking more reps with the first team, getting closer to the game, you know who's going to be a starting quarterback. And I think Miami's going to be like, yeah, it's obvious who the starting quarterback is. The only just because Marcus Freeman's not going to say it doesn't mean Miami doesn't have an idea who the quarterback's going to be this year.
do you remember? Because I can't recall Freeman's first year with the Buckner Pine situation, because I know that was sold as a battle. Do you remember when that was announced? Like, I feel like Buckner.
He would have. I want to say it was around the 2 week mark before the season started.
Okay.
No, the Buckner Pine battle was as much as the Buckner Sam Hartman battle.
You think so?
Like it did not. And Pine, give it to Pine. He had great games that season. The year before that, he ended up playing well for us that year because Buckner got hurt. Well's a stretch, but yeah, it's not the end of the you know what I mean. I want to say I can look it up. To be honest with you, I can tell you the
Yeah,
exact
because
answer.
I don't really remember.
It was in August.
Anthony asks, how do you figure that? None of the coaches have given any reason to believe that it's CJ. People are hyping up CJ, and not the coaches.
Well, you're gonna see. Well, when Steven Jelly transfers out, he's not transferring out because CJ Carr got outperformed by Kenny Minchey.
Yeah,
Like
he's leaving because CJ and Kenny outperformed Steve.
And realistically, we talked about it. Steven Jelly had to play somewhat like if he played near what CJ Carr was playing, like if they were comparable in any way, you really could have made a world where CJ or Steve Angeli was going to be a starting quarterback week one. Because you're going to go you're going to go with a guy who's playing just as well and who has the experience. Not saying that he should be a starting quarterback. He obviously got outplayed.
Also, again, we're not saying it's official. I just think that from everything we've read, from every insider you talk to, from like all the outlets and everything, everybody believes it's CJ Carr. Now, does that mean CJ Carr is going to start? No. that doesn't automatically mean he's got the job right now. From everybody that you're supposed to trust, they're telling you it's CJ Carr. So I think that those people at least have to know at least something or a little bit about what they're talking about. And then you see the stuff about evidently the staff has had conversations with Kenny, maybe including, some extra NIL incentives to keep him around and use him in specific packages in the offense. I don't think you do that if Kenny is your undoubtedly starting quarterback, right? Like, I don't think those conversations happen.
Well, realistically, we're not trying to say that CJ Carr, like we know for a fact CJ Carr is got to be a starter. We're just more saying if CJ Carr were to be the starter, this is how it would go down. And I feel like right now we're gonna see it. They're gonna split snaps come the beginning of the season or come the beginning of practice. We all know it. But he's gonna go out there, and at some point they're gonna have to separate it. And you're not gonna do it the week before the game. You're not just gonna randomly the week before the game be like, oh, now we're gonna start giving CJ Carr more snaps with the first team, like and cut Kenny's snaps in 3/4. Like you're not gonna see that. They do it pretty ahead of time because especially for a quarterback who's never played it down in college football, they're gonna want to get that more in as well.
Yeah, I think again.
But to answer your question, no, you don't do that to a guy who you plan on starting. You don't do that.
Yeah, and again, I just think even if you watch both spring games, and spring games are spring games, right? But if you just go off of what we've seen as fans, right? Because the only thing we've seen from Kenny and CJ in terms of football on the field is 2 spring games, and in both the spring games, CJ outplayed Kenny. Now, it was closer this year than it was the first year, but I think that's part of why there was a lot of excitement around CJ. And again, I don't see, like I know for the previous comment talking about everybody's hyping up CJ. I think there's been a lot of people hyping up both CJ and Kenny. As welcome back, Sean. Technical difficulties, man. What happened?
I don't know. Did you see me trying to get my camera to work or no?
No, it just went black and then he just dropped.
It was like I was sitting here listening, and then it was like my name, my initials, and then my camera wouldn't work, and then I just was like, I don't know what's going on. So,
okay, your thoughts real quick, Sean. We're talking about it because people kind of a little upset that we're hyping up CJ. What are your thoughts
about
on the
Kenny Minchey truthers?
Yeah, I think
it's not even that. It's more of they're mad because I said that if we're gonna find out who the quarterback is, it's gotta be 2 weeks before the season. Like it's gotta be pretty obvious.
And the fact that most people,
I think it's already obvious it's CJ Carr, and everyone's like, why are people? I've said this. I still have this belief. Kenny Minchey is an excellent runner. He's elite at running, and he's the best in the quarterback room at what he does in his athletic ability. But he's got an arm, but he
doesn't have the accuracy.
He doesn't have the accuracy yet. It reminds me a lot of like Kyler Murray. He'll throw some suicide balls, and your receivers will get hurt, or it's too high, too low, it doesn't get there. CJ Carr puts the ball on the money, and CJ Carr can move. Not as much as Minchey, but if need be, he can move. I don't think it's close. I don't think, if I'd be lucky to have Kenny Minchey as a starter if CJ Carr wasn't here. I think Kenny Minchey's a great development quarterback. I think he's talented. I don't understand why people are dying so much for him to start over CJ Carr, because I don't think it's even close that he's better than CJ Carr.
What was do you remember, because I remember that Kenny's stats in the spring game this past year were not that good.
They weren't great, but they also
he had moments.
He had some guys drop.
Moments,
yeah.
But he had the arguably the worst besides Angeli, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean,
like CJ was just efficient. Besides the one pick he threw, which was just, if you go back and watch that play, that's just CJ being a little cocky and arrogant with his passing ability, thinking he could get a ball in between 3 defenders. But like 17 for this was Carr's stat line. 17 for 24. Let me find that again. 17 for 20 or no, 14 for 19, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Like that to me is, and then you look at the passes he had in that game. That dime to, was it Flanagan? I want to say, was it Cooper that caught that ball?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Like, you just watched that spring game. And I'm not saying that it was wide margin, but in the 2 spring games we played, CJ was the best quarterback in both of those spring games.
So yeah, and so Minchey.
CJ's only played 1 spring game.
No, CJ's played 2.
He's played 2. He played 1 his freshman year, which he did really well. His freshman year.
Well. Yeah.
So Minchey, what he did, he finished 6 of 14. He threw for 106 yards, and he ran for 12 yards on 6 carries. That's what Minchey did.
Yeah, I mean, Minchey can move, but come on. Like, some of the throws, it's obvious. He would overthrow a receiver by a mile. Or he would some of the balls were caught, but they just weren't on the money like CJ Carr. Like,
the thing with Kenny, and this is my thing with Kenny. No, who's the better athlete? Kenny
Minchey.
Right? The problem is, and this is what you ran into with Riley, you ran into it with Brandon Wimbush, and obviously I'm not saying Kenny is those guys, but I'm saying what you run into is they're great with athletic ability. At times they have arm ability where they can chuck it, but it's erratic. It's not consistent. Not Riley, but Brandon Wimbush between the ears is not there. When the pocket broke down, Wimbush's first thought was to run, and he could not stay in the pocket and deliver an accurate ball to save his life. That's the problem. And the thing with Kenny, and I've noticed this in the 2 spring games, is I'm doing the Trump, by the way. The thing with Kenny is that he just, when the pocket breaks down.
Minchey, some say he's the best. I would say he's the best. Some say he's the best. He's the most athletic. Just in between the noggin, in between the 2 ears, it's not there.
No, it's like what I've seen from him in the 2 spring games is when the pocket breaks down and he can't take off, like that ability's taken away because the defense knows that's what he wants to do. He can't. Yeah. It's erratic. It's not. He's got the arm talent, but the accuracy's not there. When you watch CJ, it's calm, cool, collected. He's not running around. And when the pocket, he doesn't necessarily. It's just the ball's out. It's out.
I do have to question just as like of thinking completely through it. Maybe there was an idea inside Minchey's head that like if he performed bad enough, he might not even be the 3rd string. Stephen Jelly sucked. He was terrible in that game.
He was terrible in that spring game. Yeah.
Maybe that was the idea in Minchey's head that he might not even be the 3rd string and that he'd have to transfer out. Now at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. So because Jelly transferred out, CJ threw a pick on the only play he was pressured. Okay, he also threw 14 for 17.
I mean, Kenny Minchey, what makes me mad?
Violator threw 14.
I'm going to call him out. This Nolan kid was getting on me.
Oh, my God.
I'm just saying.
Watch out, get emotional.
Yeah, like, I'm just. Oh, it's because he's young and with experience he can improve it. Yeah, with experience you can improve it, but wouldn't you rather have someone that doesn't need the improvement and already has it?
I just want to put this out. On average, in that game, so what? That was in 2 drives. He threw 14 for 17. If you run that, so in normal college football game, most of the time the offense gets at least 4 drives, 5 drives at least.
Yeah.
So what? On average, it's 7 completions a drive. If last year we went 28 for 32, 34 with our quarterback,
4 touchdowns and 2 picks.
Yeah, we win every game and we're holding up a national championship. Like, yeah, he had 1 bad play. You're right. I'm not going to say that's something he needs to figure out. He's young. But everything else just looks so good. Saying Kenny Minchey did better or even the same is insane.
You don't know ball.
Kenny Minchey just looked like a lesser Riley Leonard out there.
No, I mean
Like,
you don't know ball.
Okay, yeah.
He is better.
To
You
be
do
fair,
not know
to
ball.
be fair, hold on. To be fair to Kenny, there like what was it, 6 for 14 was his stat line?
6 for 14.
That's not good. That's
Yeah,
not great.
Leonard threw better than that.
That's not great.
Leonard threw better than that with a freaking knee brace on, dude. Or not knee brace, an ankle
But
brace.
to be fair to Kenny, so there were a few of those. I want to say like 2 or 3 that were just blatant drops by the receivers.
You're right.
But I can't also
No
argue.
Collins. There you go.
But I can't argue that a couple of the drops were also caused because of the ball placement and where Kenny threw it. So that's what, like, and then you go and you watch CJ, and on that highlight play, I'll have to pull it up. He hits number 85 and puts it only where 85 can get it, right over the top of.
Good.
Like, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Like, I think what it is,
It's beautiful.
it's beautiful. It's great. It's the
Some
best
say it's the
possible.
most beautiful throw. I don't say that. Some people say that.
Oh my god!
You must build an old lineman wall.
It's. I almost said it's beautiful. Ah, shit.
It's beautiful.
I think that if the coaching staff sits here and says Minchey is the quarterback, I will support it. I will support Minchey, and I trust the coaching staff to make the right decision. There's a reason.
Like, hold on, let me run this back real quick. Like, this is just, and then he's moving around in the pocket. He moved to make that throw.
God,
Jeez.
Kenny Minchey, that'd be out of bounds.
And that's Kenny Minchey that hit the cheerleader on the sideline like Ian booked it against Louisville.
Like, look at that. That, like, dude.
But no, back to what Sean said, and we talked about it during, like, oh, who do we want? I said it multiple times. I could give a shit less who I want. I'm a 22-year-old who's in college, who isn't the quarterback coach, who isn't a football coach. I don't care what I want. What does our coaches want? Because I trust them more than anything. Like, we're just random dudes on YouTube.
In the chat too? Sorry.
Deuce is in the chat, yeah.
Yeah,
I think he was the other guy with Nolan that was all like Kenny Minchey. So
well, I'll give it to Deuce though. Deuce does give good reasons why.
Yeah,
he's very athletic. What Deuce says is correct. He's very athletic, and it could be something where that works better in college.
Hold on, was this one the final play of the spring game? I want to say it was.
Deuce is, right. Kenny Minchey's very athletic. Kenny Minchey is a very talented quarterback. It was said by Charles Powers that if Kenny Minchey was in a different quarterback class, he'd be a top 10 quarterback class in that cycle.
Here's the thing. Is it just me, or when I watch CJ, right? The throw it makes it look effortless. It looks easy when he throws the ball. Like, we've dealt with so many quarterbacks. Like, even with how much we love Riley, there were times where he threw and the ball came out of his hand, you cringed, right? There were times when Ian Book played.
To be exact, you cringed.
I cringed.
I believed in our fucking quarterback.
Like, okay, so Ben, like, let me ask you, Ben.
I didn't week 2.
Yeah.
Ben, when he missed that route, like the 5-yard out to I want to say it was Raritan or Evans. He threw it over Evans' head and straight into the crowd. Did you not kind of like cringe a little bit and be like, that's not good? That's not great. Like, no, that's or like when he
you
threw
don't
it
want to
straight
see
into
me
the
during
dirt.
a Notre Dame game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Deuce,
No,
what did you? Wait, no, read what Deuce just put in the chat.
Oh no. Kenny Minchey has the higher ceiling. CJ might.
Okay, you're correct. Technically speaking, Riley Leonard had the higher ceiling than Arch Manning because Riley Leonard can run. If he understood how to throw a football, he could have been a Heisman quarterback. What's your point? Why we're not taking players on who has a higher ceiling? We're taking players who's going to start next year.
I will say this to his point. I
He's
think
not wrong.
Hold on.
He's not wrong.
I do, Andretti. I do think he has a higher ceiling with athleticism and throwing power. I think Minchey has an arm, and if he can get the accuracy down, that's elite. So I do understand that. CJ doesn't need to really get better. I think he's really good at throwing the ball. But I think you want whoever is more ready now, who can beat and win you a championship now, right? And I don't know if that's Kenny Minchey now.
And as a Colts fan, I hear it a lot. I hear it a lot as a Colts fan.
Like
As a Colts fan, you should be happy Riley
Minchey,
Leonard got drafted by
Kenny
Oakland.
Minchey is the Anthony Richardson.
oh god.
Hey, bold prediction. I think Daniel Jones start. That's not bold. I think Daniel Jones is your starter.
Hey,
week
really
one.
quick, getting back on track.
What I just read today, I don't believe that.
Really quick, getting back on track.
Get their 3 picks during practice.
That's like saying Brennan Wimbush had a higher ceiling than Ian Book. Well, true. Ian Book was better. Why was that, Sean?
Ian Book went to the playoffs twice.
Well, Ian Book could throw a ball.
Is the winningest quarterback. Well, I mean, you say that, but Ian Book also was Mr. Francis who had to run all.
I think we're forgetting Chris Fink touchdown against Michigan week 1.
Oh,
with Brandon Wimbush.
Chris Fink saved the hell out of that play. If you watch
it was directly in his chest after Chris Fink jumped 4 feet in the air.
He threw that into double coverage, by the way. So it just so happens that
fucking white boy Chris Fink's down there somewhere.
I am also going to say this because I mentioned this in the chat. I talked about that Nolan kid, right?
This is a Lamar Jackson conversation all over again.
No, it's not.
Kenny Minchey's not
Lamar Jackson was throwing for 9 touchdowns and Heisman winner, and he was it's different. I mean, Lamar Jackson's elite. To me, he is there wouldn't be Lamar without Michael Vick, but he's the greatest running quarterback of all time. I mean, he's
okay. Let me ask this to Deuce and Andretti in the chat.
We're going back and forth. Deuce and Andretti are the same fucking person, Frable. You dumb shit.
Why are they 2 different accounts? Jesus. Anyway, Deuce, why are you like give me a reason you don't like CJ Carr. I need to know this. Like what is it? Was it because CJ isn't a pocket like a dual threat? Is that which? By the way, CJ can't. Like if you actually watch his highlight tape, he's sneakily athletic. Like
but he's not gonna get 50 rush yards. He's gonna run for a first down. That's it.
Like he can run for a first down. Like and that to me that's all you need. Like would we say that Will Howard was as athletic as Riley Leonard?
No.
Would you say he was even as athletic as Kenny Minchey? No.
You're doing 2 polar opposites.
But what did Will Howard do, especially in the national championship game in critical moments with his legs?
He threw all over our defense.
But there were a few times where he also took off for a 6-yard gain, picked up a first down, even though he looked slower than shit. Running is still. I
wanted to run on that field and tackle him.
Like. You don't necessarily like. I think there's this misconception that you need, and maybe it's because I think a lot of people are living in the moment, and it's the recency bias of why was Notre Dame so successful last year offensively in terms of running the ball. It was because of Riley, right? And I think people think, well, we got to the national championship with Riley.
Can y'all see me?
Yeah, we can.
All of me?
Yeah, we can.
I think it was all of you. All of me.
There's a recency bias of we got to the national championship with Riley, and Riley was a mobile quarterback. So we need a mobile quarterback to get back to the national championship.
No, we haven't had a quarterback that can deliver strikes and throw. He's a guy.
Jimmy Clausen.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. He was good, but you think of his NFL career and it's like, ugh. But yeah, DeShone Kaiser a little bit could throw.
Yeah, DeShone Kaiser could put.
No. DeShone Kaiser. Sean Kaiser was fucking terrible. Bro's QB career was made by Will Fuller.
DeShone Kaiser is Kenny Minchey.
Will Fuller is the only reason DeShone Kaiser got drafted to the NFL.
Oh,
if you disagree with me, argue with a fucking wall because you have a better chance of winning that argument. Okay.
Oh my god.
But I just don't understand and if you think Minchey's better, I respect it, but I do want you can. It's everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Game man, CJ Carr is a game.
Frable, just stop reacting.
Okay, here we go.
Next subject.
He said, dude said CJ's a good quarterback. I really think he can be good, but I don't want to push him out there early is all. And in reality, our line may not be that good next year until week 4.
We have every offensive lineman returning that started, pretty much.
Well, that was supposed to start at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.